Yes, I have been keeping something from you guys. And I feel like it's because I have been worried that people would be critical even after they have heard the story. So back in my 30s, I had skin cancer. And where was the skin cancer? Right on my face. So I'm getting a routine check at my dermatologist, and she sends a couple of spots in for biopsy and finds out, yes, in fact, you do have skin cancer, and sends me to the University of Michigan hospital to get this Mohs surgery. And at that time I thought, oh, okay, they're gonna just there's a couple of little areas, they're gonna deal with it, it'll be great. I was not prepared for the size of the amount of skin that they were gonna take around those areas. Right above my lip, I had something taken out the size of like a dime. The scar is from inside my nostril all the way to my upper lip. And under this eye, that area was the size of like a nickel. That's how big the hole was. When I saw it after they got done, I thought, oh my gosh, it's huge, especially right on your face where people notice it. If you know anything about skin cancer, or even if you don't, basal cell is the kind that kind of spreads under the surface of your skin like roots growing underground from a tree. They had told me before the Mohs treatment that they figured these areas were going to get big. And so they had scheduled me for plastic surgery basically to close these two areas up as best they could. And thank goodness I had a great doctor who sewed everything up perfectly. I mean, it looks really good, okay, for how big these holes were. I will never forget when I came home from having that surgery. My son, who was then about 2 or 3 years old, he looked at me and the first thing he did was start bawling because mommy had big old patches here and here, and I had bruising all over. And he probably thought, oh my gosh, what did they do to my mom? And he just started bawling. And for a couple of weeks, at least after that surgery, my husband would go to the grocery store with me because I looked horrible. If I can find pictures from back then, I will show you what they look like. We might have gotten rid of them though, because it makes me feel bad looking at them. But I remember going to the grocery store with him one time after I had that surgery, and I literally was black and blue all around my eye, all over here on my face, and people were staring at us, and I bet you any money they were thinking, oh my gosh, did he do something to her? Did he hit her? What happened there? And it's embarrassing, you know, when people are looking at you like that. They don't know what your story is. They're wondering what the story is. And they're looking at him thinking he caused it, which could be true for some people. So that was bad. And it took a long time for those areas to heal. Even after I was able to take the bandages off, I mean, the scarring, it was so noticeable for months. And people would ask me for the longest time, wow, what happened? Did you get in a car accident? And it was like, no, I had skin cancer. I did not feel good about how I looked at that time. I looked at myself in the mirror and thought, well, these are your battle wounds. You know, this is what you have to deal with. But once the skin healed, this area under this eye was perfectly smooth. And this eye at the time wasn't bad because I was young, you know? So the skin was holding up well at that time. But over time, oh boy, year after year, it took some years, but this eye still stayed nice and tight underneath while this eye kept looking more old. I mean, you know, the normal aging, okay? And that's when I really started to notice a big difference. I literally, under this eye, looked 10, 15 years older, at least, than this eye. And it really started to bother me. It wasn't even at all. If you looked at my face, you'd be like, It's kind of weird. So that's when I started investigating what could I do about it, if anything, because it really bothered me. And so one day when I was at my dermatologist, I asked her, is there anything I can do about this? Because as I'm getting older, it really is a big difference. You can definitely notice, and I just feel weird with half of my face looking 10, 15 years older than the other half. And she said we could do filler underneath your eye, because what that would do would be to puff up the skin to make it more, to make it stretched out a little bit more looking, to even it out with the skin under this eye. And I know getting fillers is a big debate and a big ordeal. But because I felt so self-conscious about it, I'm like, yeah, I want to try it. Let's do it. But I'll tell you, it was a little weird. They took this long needle. I don't know if you've ever seen a longer needle than this before. I was like, whoa. So what they do is they numb you. They take this big old needle and they put it in about here, and then they go way up here and they start putting the filler right under your eye. They numb you first, of course. Otherwise, I would have been like, hell no, I'm not doing that. And I'll tell you what, I could barely feel. I could just feel movement, but I couldn't feel any pain and all. I thought, thank goodness, okay? And it was immediate. When she was done, I looked in the mirror and I couldn't believe it. So I am so thankful, honestly, that they have that kind of stuff that people could do to help them feel better about themselves in certain ways, whether they've had surgeries like I had or not, It's nice to be able to have an option like that. So the first time I got it done was probably 3 years ago. And then, they said it would last maybe like a year, year and a half. So about a year and a half ago, I got it done again, because I could definitely tell the skin was getting funky, just like how it had been before I got it done. So now you know, yes, I got under eye filler starting about 3 years ago. But maybe now that you've heard the story about why I made that decision for myself, maybe you won't be as critical. And yeah, I should have taken better care of my skin when I was a teenager, but I was stupid, a lot of us did a lot of stupid things when we were young, and then you pay for it when you get older. And, if I could go back in time and put on my sunscreen back then, I would do things differently. But, you can't go back in time and do that. So there's what I've been hiding from you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, because I can't change it. So my friends, until next time, stay beautiful on the inside and out.